No, 124 is the ugliest piece.
Oh, it is. It's good looking, it's iconic, and it sets the trend for the rest of the world for the next 30 years.
124 is just a box, man. It is a box. It's like when a child draws a car, he draws a 124 because it's just 3 boxes.
No, he cannot make the masterpiece signature.
But having said that, I want a W124.
You want
really
a coupe? Please get a coupe.
Estate.
Dude, the estate is.
I want to be that uncle, man.
Trust me, you will regret it. You will regret it. You get a coupe, and when you're old, you'll still be, ooh, I feel special. And you get an estate, and then kids will be judging you, and if you start doubting your self-worth.
Okay, fine. We'll come to this crossroads some other day. Autophiles here.
Autophiles!
In a W213.
The latest E200. Yes, the good looking one. Finally, the good looking one. E-Class has always been a little bit awkward looking ever since the 124. 124 was like, you know, a kid would draw a car?
Yeah.
That would do
that. Is,
yeah. After that 210 come, it was iconic, but it wasn't a good looking car. And the previous E-Class,
212.
It was very classy, but the proportion was a bit off.
Yeah, when you see it on the C-Class platform in the form of the E-Coupe, it looks damn nice. Yeah. Then you go and put that shape onto a bigger platform and it suddenly just runs.
It looks weird, huh?
Yeah.
Then they facelifted it. I didn't like the previous facelift E-Class, to be honest. And it looks like something incomplete. So this is the ultimate product.
This is what they wanted to build.
It looks exactly the same as an S-Class, which is a problem I have because no E-Class has ever looked so close to an S-Class before.
I disagree. I did a comparo when Mercedes was the king of premium. All the cars look the same.
This is early 90s and late 80s.
Late 80s, yes.
Okay,
W201, the 190E, 124.
And then the S.
W140. Also same look.
Yeah. The difference between a 190 and an E can always be told. I mean, at least for me lah. But I, after looking at cars for umpteen years, couldn't tell the damn difference between the C-Class and the E-Class and the S-Class today if it's more than 100 meters away. They could have given a little bit more identity to it. Because size-wise, it's a gradual progression.
Proportion-wise,
it's exactly the same.
Exactly the same. I don't know if this is still first impression of design because we're talking so in-depth.
It's true. But the first impression I had was I was slightly disappointed because the design language was just so similar to the S and the C.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Audi where I can't tell the difference from the front between an A4, A5, A6, A7.
But you notice, now that generation is gone, you can tell the difference. If you look at an A7 and an A5 and an A4 now, you can tell the difference. Because now your eyes have grown accustomed to it. It's the same with this, I'm telling you.
It's very subtle.
It's very subtle.
So subtle.
Give it time, all the Mercedes sedans will look different.
Performance, E200, well, you're not expecting much, but you're getting more than what you expected. I have an E200, 230, 210. My goodness, that thing is lethargic.
You described it as what? Whipping a cow.
It is
so much noise before moving.
So much noise, you know, the 230 engine and the 200 engine from that period.
Whereas in this, I think we're both surprised by it.
Pleasantly surprised. I mean, it's not powerful, but it's sprightly. Yeah?
I don't feel the weight of the car.
No, you don't. It feels light. It feels light.
Feel light?
Feels light. It feels responsive and it gives you a bit, not a lot, a bit of zoom. An entry-level Mercedes always punish you for driving fast. It's like, it judges you for driving fast and it discourages you from doing it. This is the first E-Class that is comfortable being driven hard.
When I got inside and I started driving, at first I was cruising and I was like, oh okay, feels special.
It does.
And it felt comfortable.
It is. It doesn't have the C-Class judder. It is so comfortable.
And I can imagine the rear seats are going to be really comfortable as well.
Yeah, it feels like a proper Mercedes-Benz, you know. I've been driving so many Mercedes-Benz that bears the badge and doesn't feel like one. The A's, the C's, none of them feel like a proper Mercedes-Benz. I drive an E-Class, I have an S-Class, I have a CLS, and all these cars were built to Mercedes-Benz proper level. The A derivatives, the C derivatives, I cannot accept them as proper Mercedes-Benz, to be honest. But this E-Class is one of the modern Mercedes that lives up to its name. Comfortable enough, powerful enough, does not discourage you from driving fast and still rewards you for driving like a proper Mercedes driver, which is dignified.
NVH is really good.
When I started the engine feels like so many yards away. But when you drive it, there's a sense of engagement, I feel, which is really good. I'm very impressed with.
And it's easy to drive.
It is. Yeah, so that was performance. Okay, design. We already talked about the design. well, most people wouldn't complain about the looks. I have some minor complaints about how it's maybe a little bit too similar.
That has been the big thing. No one is saying it's an ugly car.
It's not. It's a good-looking car.
It's a damn good-looking car.
It's damn good
one
looking.
of the best-looking E-Class ever made. Interior, I quite like it.
I love it. It's so futuristic.
It is nice.
My goodness. It makes you feel so special.
It is more S-Class than C-Class.
It's more S.
Yeah.
It's not noisy at all. It's well appointed. Build quality is not even a question that you want to raise. Everything is in the right place. Well, it moves a bit more than a 124 would.
That is material choice. They want to do soft touch.
Yeah. Not only that, I think this panel is too big.
Yeah. It's like this is like a canopy, you know, blocking the sun.
Canopy. But I have no complaints of the interior. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Well, what I complain about is I don't like this aluminium trim, and I don't like this color. This color reminds me of so-called a classic Mercedes-Benz, which is the lowest trim Mercedes-Benz.
There are options.
Yeah. Well, if you can choose, it would be a good thing. Like, you can't choose, then
you can choose. This is not the only choice. I have a couple of complaints.
Complain away.
When I say it's more S-Class than C-Class, I mean in terms of design.
Okay.
S-Class has 4 air vents in the center.
Yeah.
This has 4 in the center.
vents.
The complaint I have is when I say it's more S than E, it's only the top half.
The lower
bottom
part
half
is
to
more
me
like C.
Is more like C.
Restricted.
This transmission tunnel is
a bit too large.
Is a design exercise that is sacrificing comfort.
Yes.
I guess the 9G-tronic is a gigantic gearbox because the tunnel is that big, man. It's like 1 foot thick. If you look at how human beings sit down, right?
Yeah.
We sit down with our legs spread apart, which means we're narrow at the center and then it gets wider.
You are right. This is the reason why I like American cars. You know what I can do in an American car?
Spread your legs.
Not only spread my leg, I can do a... What is this called?
Why do you do that?
Because I can.
A little dance I want something.
You know, I can shake my leg inside of an American car. I can't do it here.
That is my complaint. And in fact, I have size 14 feet, which is huge. But I expect most Germans have size 12, 11, 12. You know? And when I get into a car, the first thing I do is I rest my left foot on whatever is there, whatever space is there.
Okay.
And when I got into this car and I put my foot down on the left side, it is hanging off.
Yes, you're right. Even for me.
Even for you, right?
Even for me.
You have to put your leg at an awkward angle for it to be comfortable.
Which makes me wonder, you know, why did you remove the gear stick and put it here and retain such a big transmission tunnel?
This is literally taking design over comfort.
I'm sure you can live with it. Like, if I spread my legs in a comfortable position,
it's not symmetrical.
It's not symmetrical.
Even sitting down here, I feel like my right foot is slightly higher than my left foot in the resting position. But I love the screen, even though the bezels are still a bit thick.
Yeah,
the animation
people are complaining about the frame rates.
Yeah,
because it seems like it's a bit laggy, right? This one doesn't lag at all. Yep, it's smooth, it's beautiful, it's modern. And this setting, what is this setting? This display.
This is progressive.
This is so futuristic, man. I feel like Tron.
There's also classic and sport.
So classic is basically how Mercedes used to look.
Sport is orangey, yellowish.
So that was looks, exterior and interior. Value. E200 is 300 and
348.
Yeah, this E-Class, in terms of value, is great. My goodness, it is such good value. Mercedes-Benz is making a very convincing case for itself.
I never doubt Mercedes-Benz when it comes to value. They know what they're doing.
Attainable.
Yeah. So yeah, E200 CKD, I like it.
I like it too.
I haven't seen an E-Class so sure of itself since the W124.
You are right. Since the 124.
Yeah.
The 124 was like, wow, it was the industry standard. And I think they're setting the industry standard again. This E-Class it's really in its own skin. It's just so comfortable. I think it's so confident. And I like its confidence. And confidence is beauty.